Hello Hampton 4th grade, it is Ms. Vance again with your math lesson for April 15, 2020. Today we are going to look at number patterns. I'm going to start off with some vocabulary. You may need to pause to write this down in your notebook. Our first word is pattern. Our is an ordered number of pairs or set of objects that follow a rule. A term is each number or object in the pattern. The rule is the relationship between the numbers and objects. And the input-output is when one term depends on another term. Finding patterns is a lot like input-output tables. You have to find what rule, and each term has to follow that rule. Alright, patterns can either be increasing, that means you're going to have to add or multiply, or decreasing, subtract or divide. So the first thing you need to do when you get a pattern is see where the terms are going up or if they are going down. So let's look at some examples of patterns. Here are the terms. Here's the patterns. The terms, they go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. They each have a position. So we're wondering how we get from this number to this number to this number. It's obviously increasing, so we need to know. So we know it's either adding or if it's multiplying. It looks like they're each going up by 2. So if we add 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, then 4 plus 2 is 6. We can tell that our rule is adding 2. Here's another example of a pattern, 3, 6, 12, 24, 48. Each pattern, each term is being multiplied by 2. It's going up again, so our rule would be times 2. Here's our first example. We're going to write a rule for the pattern below. Use your rule to find the next term. What do you notice about the terms in the pattern that is not described in the rule? So we have 92, 83, 74, 65, 56, 47. Well, first of all, we can tell that it is decreasing. So that means it's either subtraction or division. So the difference between 92 and 83 is 9. 83 is 9. So it looks like we are subtracting 9 from each term. So our rule would be subtract 9, because it works for every term in our pattern. Let's look at another example. So it says create a pattern with 6 terms using the rule multiply by 10. So this time it's giving us the rule, and it's shaped like an input-output table. So if we need to know, if we need to go with the output, we would multiply each by 10. So it's 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, and 160. Is there something else? We can almost see another pattern in this one. Each output is increasing by 20. So that's another pattern that we have. So each output is 20 more than the last one. This example says, find a rule for the pattern below, then write the missing terms. What do you know about the pattern that is not described in the rule? So 3 to 12, 8 to 17, it's increasing. So that means we're either adding or multiplying. Well, if we do 3 times 4 would give us 12, but 8 times 4 wouldn't give us 17. So that could not be our rule. So if we work it backwards, it's another way to see. 12, what do I need to add to 3 to get to 12? So 3 plus 9 equals 12. Let's try it for the next one. 8 plus 9 does equal 17. 13 plus 9 equals 22. So our rule here is add 9. Now to find our missing term, we would just need to add 9. 28 plus 9 is 37. That's how we would find our missing term. Let's look at a few problems that we could get when we are working patterns. Number 1 says the rule for the pattern below is add 10 multiplied by 2. This pattern has 2 rules. What is the missing term in the pattern? So, in this one, it's 5 plus 15. 5 to 15, we're adding 10. Then 15 times 2 is 30. Now 30 plus 10 equals 40. Now we need to do the second part. We need to multiply 40 times 2, and it is 80. And that follows, if we add 10 to this to 80, we would get 90. If we multiply 90 by 2, we would get 180. So this pattern has 2 different rules that we have to follow. Let's look at number 2. Which number is created using only an addition or subtraction rule? Which number pattern, excuse me. So only addition or subtraction. 2 to 4 to 6. It looks like we're adding 2, doesn't it? Let's check. If we multiply, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 would be 8, which is not 6, so it's not a multiplication. Let's look at this one, 160, and it is going down, decreasing to 180, to 40, 20. So 160, if we subtract 80, we would get 80, but 80 minus 80 would be 0, not 40, so this looks like it is dividing by 2. C, 3, 6, 12. This one is, it is going up. 3 plus 3 is 6, but 6 plus 3 is not 12. So it's not an addition rule. It looks like it is a multiplication rule because 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. So that is a multiplication. And D, it's going up and down, so it is not one rule. So that would not be our answer. Our correct answer is A. All right, number 3 says, what term completes the number pattern? If we have 6 and then we get 18, how do we get from 6 to 18? It's increasing. So we know it's either addition or multiplication. So 6 to 18, we could add 12. If we do 14 plus 12, we would get 26, and that's not 42, so it's not addition. So 6 times 18, 6 times what? Times 3 equals 18. 14, if I multiply it by 3, it would be 42. So our rule is times 3. So we can get down here, and 46 times 3 is 138. Would there be another way that we could get our last missing term? You know, we could see what the difference is between each output, and that would also help us get our answer. So A would be our correct answer. Number 4, which statement describes the following pattern? So we have 64, 32. It is decreasing. So it's either subtraction or division. So it says the 7th term is 4. If we name our term, number our terms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Would it be 4? Because it looks like 64. Looks like it's a division one, because 64 to get to 32, we'd have to divide by 2. And 32 divided by 2 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our rule is dividing by 2. We know A, it's not going to be 4. The rule is divided by 2. Put a question mark. Just look at our next two answers. An addition rule could be written in the pattern. No, because it is decreasing. The terms alternate between even and odd. They do not. They're all even. So you cross out D, and our correct answer is B. And number 5, what term is missing from the pattern below? We're going from 6, 30, 150. We are increasing. It's addition or multiplication. 6 times, looks like it's more of a multiplication problem because they're all ending in 0. So 6 times what? 5 equals 30. 30 times 5 equals 150. 150 times 5 equals 650. Now let's see if it follows to get our next answer. 650 times 5 equals 25. So it does fit. So 650 sorry, that's 750. $750. Now remember, when we have a grid, we have to follow and put them in the right place values. It's a positive, it is a whole number, so it's going to go to the left of the decimal point. And we have to make sure we bubble it in correctly. Alright, if you have any questions, please let me know. Either send me a message on Dojo or send me an email. If your parents have any questions, please have them do the same. I put assignment in Study Island. It starts today, and I gave you a little bit more time to do this one. So I will see you. I will give you your next lesson again on Friday.